Are Rightmove showing a severe lack of empathy towards the estate agency industry at the moment?
I don't see how anyone could argue otherwise, to be honest. Is that a symptom of being a corporate and that's just the nature of it? Maybe some could argue it is. I think it's a mistake. A lot of companies, as they grow, do essentially go through that kind of, it's a growing pains thing and then they lose it. I mean, certainly no one can accuse Miles of a lack of empathy. And I quote, and apologies if I've said this before, but I know Ed Mead was very public as being one of the leading lights on the market, and he was having a proper pop, quite rightly, and I think in his eyes at a right move. Now, what happened in the next few minutes was Miles picked up the phone to him, got on the phone. They didn't agree, but it was enough for Ed Mead after that conversation to say, I respect that fella picking up the call there. And that's because Miles, in his heart, was an agent. I still believes in the agency.
Used to be my boss.
Was that right?
Boss, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So look, I think there's not enough of people like Miles in the business, if I'm honest. People like Sam Mitchell, I think he was a great loss for them in terms of there. And I think one of the problems they've got with the account managers, if I know this, in my heart of hearts, one of the things I used to think of is, could I warm them, if that sounds horrible, warm them up but make them more empathetic? Because they've gone out, they're account managers, they are great account managers, but they come from the world of Yell, selling digital marketing there. So they don't know what the issues are with an estate agent. They don't understand
the fears and the frustrations.
The fears and the frustrations they don't do. It's almost like, it's like understanding a cat to understand a dog. So on a base level, but then I do think there is some structural arrogance built into it, and I think we saw you'll have been monitoring it too. The sort of conversations that are going on with Christian Byfield, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying it, where it's 22, take it or leave it kind of stuff. It's really important the language that you use there, regardless of anything else. And we've heard from loads of people, okay, when you come back, you're not getting that rate. Now, the problem with that approach is people do have long memories, and I've kept saying this. This is one of the greatest businesses, bar none, in this country today. But if anyone comes up and provides a viable alternative, it could be the quickest ever demise of a company we've seen, because people have really long memories here. And I think it's beholden on them now to really, I would really be getting in touch with it, because who knows what goes on with the Facebooks of the world and anything else there. They don't have too much goodwill. But one thing I would say, and let me just, because as always I try to blow smoke everywhere, agents don't help themselves out as well, because they are absolutely, I keep saying it as well, I mean, agents, issues whole business. I was just waiting to jump in. The key thing is, they're not short of leads. But if agents aren't even dealing with the leads from the company that they bemoan paying for all the time.
52% of leads did not get answer. And out of the 48%, it takes up to 3 hours to actually engage with any of those new leads. Which comes back to the fact of that immediacy of response. If you are paying to list on portals and you are not handling those leads effectively and efficiently, you may as well be throwing your money down the toilet.
Because the other thing is, how do you have the conversation with the Rightmove account manager as well? Your leads are all crap. Oh, well, you didn't even respond to those there. Well, that's the conversation then,
absolutely.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So agents have a responsibility to actually deal with the leads. They do. I mean, we had Andy from Yomdal in earlier. Yeah. And he did all the mystery shopping for the EA Masters, and 10% of phone calls were not answered, and 52% of emails were not answered. Appalling. Yet, when it comes to Rightmove, we feel we need, what you're saying is that we need more empathy from the senior management team, Miles aside, top bloke, and probably also with regard to the, what do you call the guys on the local account managers, is that you're getting feedback, and I must admit I've heard there are one or two gems out there, but fundamentally they're seen as hard salespeople and not empathetic. Put my arm around you, love, don't worry about it, everything will be all right. Do you think they could still continue to put their prices up with more empathy?
Yeah, fundamentally. A lot of people, I won't mention the company, but one of the things that they said that they were amazed or they liked about, the time at Repeat was, because many times we sat above Rightmove on an agent's balance sheet, which is, it's nice in one way, in another it's absolutely unenviable. You don't want to be in there because that's the one that gets noticed. And they said they could never understand how it appeared, where all our friends, our colleagues, clients came up to us at the shows, and they said, it appears that even though you sat in the same price point, they did value you as partners rather than being as suppliers too. Yes. And that was something I always tried to engender there, and I think that's really hard.
Because if you don't mind me saying, when you and Pete and the boys were at Reapit, I know we've had some changes, but it almost felt like a big family.
Yeah, I think, look, we used to believe that one of the first reviews when we got Supplier of the Year, it was Reaper delivers on all our promises, and that really, that really mattered to the sales team and everyone else out there, is that you could go out, every CRM company, tech project in general has some ups and downs, but we knew we'd get you out on the other side.
Do you think estate agents judge Rightmove wrongly? When the people did it a lot, I see on my Facebook group, they judge a portal on the number of leads. Again, separate and aside, if they're not picking the phone up. Do you think that is the right way to judge?
Look, there's a little known report in Reapit that we always said never show this to your Rightmove account manager, because it showed on every single portal and and your own website, and in fact every digital source, how many leads you were getting, and this is the key bit, actually what money you had generated off the back of it. And of course the reason I say is don't ever show them that is because in almost every case they are more than worth their money. It is not an ROI conversation. I would struggle to believe that Rightmove don't deliver an ROI for every single one of the clients. With a few examples there, it is about how the prices have gone like that and how they've been delivered that I fundamentally believe is the issue.
I mean, if Rightmove today had gone up by inflation from 2000...
Oh, Robert May always highlights this, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it would be just under £300.
Yeah.
Yet, at the same time, roll the clock back 10 or 15 years, and agents were paying £500 a week newspaper advertising, £300.
Yeah.
And 300 quid a week then, 1,200 quid a month, is probably £2,000 to £3,000 now. So at least we're saving money on that. Again, it's not necessarily what you've got, it's the way you use it.
Absolutely.
And I think to answer your question, no, honestly, Rightmove, both the guys on the ground and the senior managers, you need to show more empathy, because at the end of the day, we are in a people business, not a property business.
Absolutely.
Thank you, chaps.
Cheers.